Okay, so I would definitely volunteer Alan, that we haven't worked with you very, very much. And let's just marinate on who the other volunteer will be after that. So Alan, I volunteer you.
Okay.
So let's just start with sharing your blueprint, and we'll start with that, and I'll ask you some questions.
Okay. So my blueprint was, my object was a black hat.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the hat on and it was too big. So I squashed the hat down and then I threw it in the air and I danced with it. Then I took the hat, I wore the hat down to the lake and I jumped in the water with the hat, and the hat turned white. Then the hat became very heavy when it turned white, and it made me sink. I had it on my head and I started to sink under the water. So I took the hat off and I let it sink. I then went to the store and bought a new hat, and the hat felt good. And I danced all the way home with it, and it made me very happy.
Okay, and so this was the visual enactment prompt.
Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. So, do you have anything what have you got around you that you could use for the hat to start with?
I have a hat here.
All right, so if we're going to go metaphoric, though, you can't actually use a hat. How about a bag? I think I see a bag behind you.
No, I've got a little book here.
A little book. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you could tell the whole story with the book, yeah?
Okay.
So first of all, let's just blueprint that. So if you were to tell the whole story with the book, and what could play the lake? Is there any piece of fabric that could represent the lake?
Well, this could.
What would you like to have represent the lake?
This could represent, it's shiny. It could represent the lake.
Ooh, okay. So how would you imagine telegramming that picture to us so that we would see? So we would see the story of putting the hat that's too big, squashing it down, dancing, and then jumping into the water, which is the crystal. And then that hat becoming heavier and heavier. How would you make the book heavier and turn white and weigh you down?
You want me to enact it?
Yeah, I'm just asking you. Like, first of all, let's just jam on it verbally.
Okay.
So that you have a place to go in your head. Or you could show us like, oh, maybe it'd be like this, but we're just jamming right now. And then yeah. So how would you, where do you think you would go with that? Like, so you've got the hat, the book hat, and then how would you let it turn into something heavy? What could you do with the book?
What could I do with the book?
Yeah, to make it into like a heavy hat. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is you could also use its book qualities to turn it white and to turn it heavy. In other words, it would be a book, but it would also be a hat, the way a metaphor works.
Okay.
Yeah. So how would the book weigh you down?
It pushed me down. It was so heavy.
Oh, like a block.
And I went into the water, down into the
Yeah.
water.
Oh, right. And what do you see happening in the sinking part? Maybe when you're underwater, would there be any like verbal
I can feel the breath going out of me. So I'm struggling.
Okay.
I'm struggling to get back to the surface.
So you'd give us that. And would there be like a phrase or some verbal thing that you would want to add to that breathlessness, that drowning feeling? Pick it up on the spur of the moment. Let's just say that's where maybe that could be a place to improvise, right? Just, you don't know what you're going to say, but maybe you'll say something while you're drowning. You don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but, or, we'll just keep that secret. Then you're going to come out, and what could be the new hat that you buy? What around you could be the new hat?
The new hat is this. It's got multiple colors. It's a beautiful hat. It came from Mexico.
Okay. And so maybe you do a Mexican dance.
I could, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other place where you think you might want to add some speech, or do you like it just being a poetic dance where there may be some speech added while you're drowning? Is there any phrase or character or bit of story that you would want to put in?
Wow. The hat makes me, what can I say here?
The happy hat.
It's a happy hat. It makes me happy, and also makes me very hungry. I need to go and eat.
Okay, so maybe maybe that's something to talk about. Like when you get to the happy dance part, you can talk about how hungry you are and talk about everything that you're going to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and if you want to talk as Alan, that's fine. But if you want to talk as any human being that you've ever observed, or who you want to invent on the spot, that's fine too. It can be Alan, it can be somebody else, it can be a combination of the two. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So there may be some talking while you're drowning, and there will be some talking about how hungry you are and food at the climax with the happy hat. Okay. Do you feel like you could try it for us? I'd love to see this.
This is a challenge, but I will.
Maybe if you put yourself somewhere that you're comfortable in, like I know you as somebody who tells millions of stories while you're standing behind me doing my hair. So
yeah,
maybe if you put yourself somewhere comfortable like that, somewhere that you're used to being, and then you can just start telling.
So I put on my hat.
Let it start.
I put on my hat and I went to a wonderful restaurant. And there was a marionette.
I want you to start with the book hat. Start now that we've talked it all the way through, start from the very beginning. So this is the story that you told. You put on the hat, the book hat. It's too big. You squashed it down. You danced in it. You jumped into the water. It turns white and heavy. It sinks. It drowns you. It's like a block on your head.
Right.
You say something while you're drowning, and then you come out and you buy a new hat and you do the dance. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now I'm just going to let you go, and you're going to give us this improv.
Okay.
This extemporaneous.
So I'm so happy to have my new hat, and I put it on, and it makes me want to dance because it looks fabulous. It's a big sombrero. So I dance down the street, and everyone's looking at me, and I don't care. I feel happy. I love the hat, but I'm also very hungry. And I go and eat in a lovely restaurant wearing my hat, and I feel good in it. I'm very happy.
So give us the physicalization now. Just do the whole thing physically.
Okay, so
You don't have to talk at the same time. Just give us the visual enactment, the dream. All right. So what I think that
I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to say
Yeah.
we need to turn over to the next volunteer if we're going to do a second volunteer pretty soon.
okay. All right. Alan, can you just give us a 1-minute dance of the whole hat story? So there's bad hat, and then there's drowning, and then there's good hat, and then there's hunger. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for having the chutzpah to just do that. And, just let the strange absurdity of that sink into you. And it may have more power and sense to it than you necessarily know right now. Like, because you just let your body do that, let those images sink into you and maybe come back into your writing and your storytelling, because there's some powerful themes in there, sinking and drowning and, almost like being baptized and then coming back out of the water.